Hello, 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 everybody who joined us today, this evening for the qualifying session of Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as it is the first ever weekend here at United Arab Emirates. And well, today's stream is going to be a bit experimental, talking about the terms of the streaming, because as some of you noticed before, the stream was shattering, and we also noticed that. So we tried to change the uh, streaming settings, and hopefully it is going to help us to improve the stream quality. Hopefully it's not going to be shattering that much today, but if something will go wrong, then we'll try to fix it in the break between the sessions. Anyways, hopefully today's session is going to bring us some fun, but not some, uh, but not something bad, as we're underway. Well, talking about the weather, again, it's going to be quite hot here, even if it is an evening session here at Yas Marina, at Yas Island, and it's going to be dry here without any probability of rain. And also talking about the stream, if you see any problems or the stream just dies, just tell me about that in the chat. So I am going to fix it. Anyways, we're starting in just a couple of minutes. Well, we're here at Abu Dhabi. Here is the track, and the first drivers are already leaving the pit lane. And the first one to drive around this beautiful Asian circuit is Victor Aitken, the Rosa driver coming through the chicane, which was removed from the Formula 1 layout in 2021. Of course, this qualifying is going to decide a lot of things, maybe even the uh, chances for the championship can be decided, but I'm still not sure. And let's remember how the championship looks like. Still 50 points maximum to be received in the last two races in Abu Dhabi and in Brazil. And only 6 drivers still have a chance to win this title. The championship leader Max Mittler from Ferrari in second position is Aditya Bagos, who is just 12 points behind the Welshman in the standings. On P3 is Yuri Gabriel, the Brazilian, as he is 16 points behind Max. On P4 is Berta Kieslin, 20 points behind him. On P5 it's Daniel Fraser, who is 40 points behind him, so he is in danger of not being able to fight for the title in Brazil. And on P6 is the Russian driver Abovovich, who is 50 points behind Max Mittler. So it's going to be very difficult, not just very difficult, but very difficult for him to win the title, as he has to win these two races with the hope that nobody is from these 5 drivers is going to win. Sorry, if nobody of these 5 drivers is going to score any points, especially Max Miller and Aditya Bagos. Well, that's it. Victor Aitken is already on his flying lap around the circuit. Victor Aitken, 107.673 after the middle sector. And as I see, the stream is looking fine. As Victor Aitken comes down the final corner, as he is the first driver to complete a lap at Abu Dhabi, and this lap is going to be 1 minute 51 seconds and 17 thousandth of a second, which German is going to be even faster, but not faster than Aditya Bagos, 150.368. He did P5, Kieslin P4, not the fastest lap by the Mercedes driver, as Colin Chapman is going to be up into P3, overtaking Aitken, Kieslin and Hidayat. That's awesome. Owen P4 and early P3 with Fernando Tost on P6. As we see, some drivers from the middle teams are looking impressive. Daniel only P5 with Sami Toscan on P8. The next one is going to be Alexander Arnold. Alexander is going to be on P13. Jeffrey Blackwood P9, Jake Tilsley P11, and Lionel Messi is on P12. Here we have Yuri Gabriel and Rosetta Martinez. Yuri has got his lap ruined by the Force India driver. As the result, Yuri is 4 seconds slower than Bagos. What's happened there? Probably, and I guess it was even not Rosetta who ruined his lap, but it was his mistake there. He locked up his front left tire, ran wide, and as a result, he forced Rosetta run a bit wide here, I think, or it was an optimal line. But anyways, both drivers are not the fastest in this session so far. Martinez P19 and Gabriel P22. Abouche is also only P12, with Nielsen on P10. That's impressive. Smither P5, Eriko Hanebus on second position with Fraser third and Nielsen 10th. Okay, I guess that's alright. So, yeah, just let's ignore it. Let's ignore it. And yeah, I will also try to fix this bug at the end of the first qualifying session. Lol, that's nice. Anyways. And also, if you want to join us to commentate the race, feel free to join our Discord server, the link is in the description, and there you can join the race stream's voice chat. Also, most likely the F1 2012 signups are going to be open today, so don't miss your chance to become one of the drivers in this championship. I guess this week is also going to be quite busy, not because of the final two races of the season, because of the season finale, but also because of the signups getting opened. Not for F1 only, but also for Formula Renault. And this week, the calendars for the future, for the next season, are also going to be revealed. There are going to be some changes in them, surely. Some locations getting removed and some locations getting added to the calendar. Still yellow flags because of this bug. And we have some interesting results still. Bagus Hanebus Fraser is the top 3 for now, with some interesting things like Colin Chapman on P9, Nielsen P10, Abush on P12, Kieslin P18 and Gabriel on P22, but we know that it was his own mistake. Enrique Bagus in his special gold helmet. And here comes the traffic. Well, here comes Bagus, and what is going to be on his way to complete this lap? Looks like nothing. But what about Fernando Tost? Let's take a look. Nothing. Come on, do we really have no traffic? Looks like we don't. Anyways, let's take a look at Santin Andreoli, who is now complete in the middle sector. And he's even slower than after sector 1. So we have Chapman improving on his personal best by just a quarter of 10th, 25 thousandths of a second. He's still on P9, but what about the drivers outside the top 16? First of all is Berta Kiesen, who is now improving by 2/10ths of a second after the first couple of corners after sector 1. Here he comes completing the middle sector, and it is going to be even faster. Although he lost 200 thousandths of a second, or 2/10ths of a second. Hidet is also looking really good, as he is faster than his personal best also. And also I think he's going to be in 18th position. As you see, Berta Kieslin came down the final corner, the Mercedes driver, and he's going to get P2. Not bad, not bad. Hiret is only P11, not out qualifying his teammate, as Martinez is now up into P15. Beethoven is up into second, and he's now ahead of Kieslin.
Well done, great drive.
Vucic Armin. Looks like he has no improvement, unlike Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is going to be on P18 with Arnold P20 and Blackwood without any improvement. Here comes Daniel Fraser, also not the fastest lap by him, as he is staying on P6. Erika Hanebosa with no improvement, the same as Aitken and other drivers. Come on, are we going to have any improvements? Looks like no. With 5 minutes to go, we have Gabriel. In 22nd position, and that puts him in a difficult situation as he's fighting for the championship. He's now on 3rd in the standings, but he is now up into P15 finally, but it's still a risky position. So here comes Sabovic, he's now on P13. Also not the fastest lap by him because of these yellow flags, and it is still P13. Of course, it's impossible to improve with this bug. I hope I can fix it before Q2 starts. But here comes Jake Dowsley, who's going for his second attempt to set a fantastic flying lap in this session. But he has chosen not the best time to do that, as we still have a lot of debris in the middle sector. Well, everybody is making their way out from the pit lane. And I guess not everybody is going to make it in time for the next flying lap. We still have yellow flags. Well, as now it puts the British driver in a difficult situation, as he has to improve this lap, but he has a lot of cars ahead of him. Not that many, but there are still the cars getting removed from the track in the middle sector for about 3 minutes, I think. And of course his lap will get ruined by these yellow flags. Or not. One-tenth of a second slower than the personal best. I don't think I don't think that his lap was ruined, actually. As we have other drivers completing their laps and victory getting out of the pit lane, but sadly it's too late. Well, Jake Dasley comes down the final couple of corners here at Abu Dhabi with less than a minute to go in this first qualifying session for today. Jake Dasley comes down the main straight, and as a result he's still on P20, only ahead of Arnold and Hidayat. The next one to cross the line is going to be Darbus Daniel. The Hungarian is going to stay on P4. And what about the drivers are not going to make it to start the next lap? The first of these drivers is going to be Boba Bovic. He is staying on P13. Still a risky position, but I'm not sure that he is going to be outside the top 16. Right behind him is Adam Hidayat, who is now on the flying lap, but still without any improvement, sadly. Here comes the Lotus driver, who's looking really promising in the first half of the season, but now something went wrong for him, and as a result he is going to be starting last tomorrow. Rosetta Martinez is the next one. He's at risk, he's on P17 and he's out of Q1 once again. P9 Andreoli, P2 Beethoven. Didi Vagos is staying on P1. But what about the others? Sam Toscan is also not improving on this lap. Unlike his teammate who could not even start the lap properly. And Lionel Messi is now on P10 as he was on P19. That's impressive. That's impressive by the Lotus driver as he makes it into Q2, the same as Colin Chapman and Emil Nielsen, two HRT drivers. Fernando Tos P13 with Kieslin up into third. Chapman is staying on P11 and Jafari Blackwood is another Force India outside the top 16. Martinez and Blackwood are going to be starting on P18 and P19. Daniel Fraser with an improvement He was on P6 and now he's going to make it up into 4th. Arnold is going to be starting from the final row of the starting grid tomorrow with Yuri Gabriel making it up into 2nd, Max Mitter 6th, and Erika Hanebusa is still on P8, and that's Q1 over. That's it, we did not have as much issues as I thought in this session, and see you in a couple of minutes for Q2. Well, welcome back, and it's time to start the Q2. Well, I was trying to change something in the game files to somehow fix this bug with the fuel, but for some reason it doesn't work. And that's... I hope it's not going to affect anything in this session. Like in the previous session in Q1, as drivers are making it onto the track again for the fourth time today. Well, here Gabriel starts the fly lap, and while he's on the track, I guess we should talk about some preseason stuff about 2012 season, and we were thinking about creating something like a sprint series in the interval between the seasons, we had some different ideas. The first one was to make a mini championship with just some races around the world with some classic cars or something else. And the other idea was to make it some F1 championship, for example, some classic F1 season with the full calendar, probably with some changes to it, and the idea was to make the races really short, about 10-15% of the full race. So it was about 16 races, 10% for the full distance each, and well, that's what the sprint series would look like. As here Gabriel is now completing his lap. .314. Santini and Riley is second. Aboba crosses the line and he goes second. Fernando Tost is the slowest so far, as Vucicharmin goes up to third. Daniel Fraser second, and Max Mittler down the main straight he comes, and it is P3 for the championship leader. Kieslin on P2, Owen on P5, Simon Toscan he's going to be in P4. But only for a moment, as Daniel climbs up into second. Bago's even fast, and he's just 5 thousandths of a second slower than his teammate Yuri Gabriel. Eric Libani Hanebus at P11, and Messi P14, Nielsen P12, and Chapman P14. This time without any surprises, unlike in Q1, with Eric Hanebus on P2, with HRTs in top 10, which was quite crazy, but still interesting. Here come the yellow flags. Well, we have nothing to show for now, so here is the footage from the pit lane. Just a pit lane without any graphics. So what do you expect from it? And we have the cars back on the track, and the first car is the car of Renault Lotus. It is the driver whose name is Santina Andreoli. And also surprisingly, Emil Nielsen, the HRT driver, is ahead of Santina Andreoli. Two Lotuses on P12 and P... no, wait a minute, sorry. Well, one of the Renaults is still in top 10. It's Vachi Charmin who is still in the pits. See, comes out into the track to stay in inside the top 10. Despite the gaps being just extremely massive. As the gap between Abosh and Armin, between P9 and P10 is 0.2 of a second, but what about the gap in a battle for the seat in Q3? The gap is about 0.3 of a second. I would say that the gap between Abosh and Armin is even 0.3 of a second. As the Frenchman comes down the final corner, down the main straight, and starts the lap. Well, we have about 5 minutes to go in the second qualifying session, and well, let's take a look at the performance of the championship contenders, because why not? As the fastest for now is Yuri Gabriel, the one who was in danger in Q1. As he made a mistake in his first qualifying run, and as a result his lap time was 4 seconds slower than the lap time of the session leader and Gabriel's teammate at the same time of Aditya Bagus. But as a result he made it into top 16, and now he is leading the session with 5 thousandths of a second ahead of his teammate Aditya Bagus. Red Bull is looking really promising today in this qualifying session. Let's see if they're going to continue this performance in Q3 and if they're going to get the pole position there in Abu Dhabi. On P3 is Darbus Daniel, the first driver from the ones who are not fighting for the championship. On P4 is Berta Kieslin, another title contender who is also on P4 in standings. P5 Fraser, also in the standings and right now. And on P6 it's Samet Ozkan. Samet Ozkan, who scored only 31 points this season, but still better than his teammate Victor Aitken, who is now on P20 with just 13 points. Santino Andreoli makes it up on 10th. Erika Hanebas at P12. Yuri Gabriel is not improving. Sabochkin does the final corner. I'm not sure he's going to be faster than his previous flying lap, but he is going to stay on P9. The next one's Fernando Tost, and he makes it up to 14th, overtaking Colin Chapman in the live results. Dane Fraser on P5, Max Smith on P7, Owen on 8th. Colin Chapman is still on P15, as he is improving on his personal best. No more improvements, as Lionel Messi is now on P16. I guess he can make it into the next qualifying session once again, as he was outside the top 16 in Q1, but with one run to go, he made it into the next qualifying session, but sadly he stays on P16 without even starting ahead of Colin Chapman. Berta Kieslin still on P4 with Darbus Daniel. He making it up on the first. What a fantastic lap by the Mercedes driver. Emil Nielsen on P13, and I guess that's all. But we only have Aditya Bagus. He does not decide anything, but he is staying on P3. So outside the top 10, in Q2 we have Vucic Charmin, Erika Libani-Hanebusa, Emil Nielsen, Fernando Tost, Colin Chapman and Lionel Messi. So Samet Ozkan makes it into Q3. It was a great result by him, as he outperformed his teammate in the qualifier, as Victor is only P17. Anyways, that's it. Nobody else is going for a flying lap. Absolutely nobody. Even Eriko Hanebasa is not going to make it with just 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. So I guess it's time to go for another short break and see you in a couple of minutes to decide who is going to be starting from pole position tomorrow here at Abu Dhabi. let's go for Q3 as now. I guess I finally fixed this bug, so the problem is not going to appear once again, as it is already the final qualifying session and the final session for today, before the Formula 1 signups are getting opened. So you can also make your bets in the chat about who is going to get the pole position today. I guess it's going to be a close battle. But even more important is going to be tomorrow's start of the race. And tomorrow is going to be another chance for Max Miller to win the championship. Some people will hope that he is not going to miss it. Some people will want to make it down the wire to have a championship fight in Brazil. Santin Revely starts the flying lap already. Well, see who's going to be the fastest for now. As we have 4 drivers who completed uh, their first flying lap in this Q3. Uh, And Aditya Bagos is now crossing the line, and he is going to be on first position. Max Smither is only P6, Yuri Gabriel ahead of the Welshman. Bertie Kessler P5 and Simon Toscan only P8, but still ahead of Max Smither. I wonder what happened to him. Maybe some mistake or something. He was 3 tenths down on the previous lap already. And that's not a good sign. So maybe the mistake was made in maybe the mistake was made in the first sector, but as we see, IDT also had not the best first couple of sectors. So maybe he was pushing in the final sectors. As we see, let's compare Pagos, who had 36.0, and Smither, who had 36.3. No, it's the new lap already. My bad. And can we take a look at it? The lap times, the stand-ins, and I guess we can't. But at least all the drivers are going to make it into the pits for the first time today. It looks like Andrelli and Abovich are the ones who left the pit lane quite early, as the biggest half of the drivers just making it out of the pits just now. Well, let's take a look if Andreoli is going to improve, as he is half of the second slower than Samet Özkan. And let's also don't forget about other battles in the championship in the middle field. And the main battle is the battle for P7. And the guy who is on P7 is not somebody not somebody from the middle team, but it's Beethoven. And what's the battle about? It's the battle for the 7th position, as Erika Hanebosa is on P8, losing just 7 points to the McLaren driver. On P8 is Erika, on P9 is Vucic Armin. 74 points for Owen, 67 for Hanebosa and 61 for Armin. And then it becomes even closer. On P10 is Jafari Blackwood, 58 points, and Santino Andreoli is on P11 with 57 points. On P12 is Darbus Daniel with 51, as on P13 Rosetta Martinez is situated with 47 points. 42 points for Jake Tasley in 14th place, and on P15 is Sam Toscan with 31 points. And then it's Emil Nielsen on P16 with 29 points. So that's how everything is close. Of course, the drivers from like P14, P15, P16 will not have a big chance to have a fight for P7. I would say that they have the lowest chance to do that, but at least mathematically they actually can fight for this position. Meanwhile, Andreoli improves on his lap time, but he is still on P10, and I guess these are going to be the final laps of the session. Abush is staying on P3, but for how long as he crosses the line, and he is still on 3rd. Samet Özkan is the next one to cross the line, but we care a bit more about Daniel Fraser. Sorry for that, Samet. As Daniel is also fighting for the championship. These two drivers making it down the final corner, and let's see who is going to be on top. Samet Özkan is most likely staying on P8, with Fraser still on P2, Bertegessen on P4, but still not enough to get closer to Abovic, just 0.04 of a second between them. It looks like Daniel improves on his personal best, and he has a chance to fight for the pole position. Is it going to be truth or not? Is it going to be a truth or not? It is 2nd position for him. Beethoven is staying on P6. And the next one to cross the line is going to be Yuri Gabriel. He's now on P7. He's now on P7 up into P4. Up into P4 for the Brazilian. Here comes his teammate, the session leader, as he does not make it to improve his lap time. But what about the drivers behind? As we have the championship leader, Max Miller, making it down the final corner, and it's only P8. It's only P8. But we'll know about his sprinting abilities, how he was recovering the positions in South Korea after that bad luck. And as a result, he made it in the points. So I guess, why not to fight for the podium if you start on P8? Well, everything is pretty close. P8 is in 3/10 of a second And on the front row, tomorrow we are going to have Aditya Bagus and Darabas Daniel. Third and fourth are Fraser and Gabriel, as behind them there are Abovich and Kieslin. P7 Oven, P8 Smitler, the championship leader, P9 and P10 are Sami Toscan and Santina Andreoli. These are the top 10. Talking about the drivers outside, the top 10, the drivers who did not make it into Q2, so Q3, these are Armin on P11 with Hanebus on 12. Then Emil Nielsen from HRT starting 13th and Fernando Tos 14th. P15 Colin Chapman, P16 Lionel Messi. Then Victor Aitken, Rosetta Martinez and Jafari Blackwood, two first Indies with not the fastest qualifying session again. P20 is going to be Jake Tilsley with Arnold and Hidayat starting from the last positions tomorrow. That's it. Aditya Bagus is on pole, and the battle for the championship is still on. Anyways, thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow for the race at Abu Dhabi. And also don't forget about the sign-ups as they're getting opened in just a few hours time. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching. I wish you a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night, and goodbye.